Okay, so you are going to join me in child's pose. So big toes are touching. These are spread wide apart. Or just melt down onto the mat. Just take a couple of natural deep breaths right now. You can move around and just get comfortable in this position. You can spider up on the fingertips and walk them longer if you want to really lengthen the sides out and get your back stretched out a little bit. Just enjoy this little peaceful moment before I kick your butt with this workout. Just kidding. Okay, so I want you to now turn on the ujjayi breath. So we're going to inhale through the nose slowly and deeply, filling the lungs. And then I want you to constrict the throat and exhale slowly so you can hear it. Inhale. Exhale. Keep on breathing like that. And I'll keep on talking. So with the ujjayi breath, you want to be able to make your exhales longer than the inhales. And you want to constrict your throat so that you can hear the breath coming in and going out. So we'll take a couple more breaths. One more breath. On the next inhale, we're going to come up to a tabletop position. So we're stacking the shoulders over the wrists, and the knees are right underneath the hip points. So I want you to really suction cup your palms onto your mat, pushing away from the earth so you feel your back expanding and broadening. Draw the navel to the spine and then slightly up towards the heart. And keep it engaged even as you exhale so you have that core engagement. Sticking with the ujjayi breath, inhaling slowly, filling the lungs. And exhale slowly. Almost like a Darth Vader kind of a sound. One more time. On the next inhale, we're going to lift that right arm up to the sky. And then exhale, thread it underneath the left. So you're resting your ear and cheek on the mat. With this left hand, you can keep it right here and push yourself deeper into the twist. You can bring it up high or bring it around the back and grab onto your thigh for a bind. Keeping with the ujjayi breath throughout the practice. We're just going to warm up the spine here. With the next inhale, place the left hand back on the mat and inhale that right arm up. Opening the heart, broaden the chest, and set it back down. Go right to the left side, inhale that left arm up. And exhale, thread it underneath the right. So again, we are resting the ear, cheek on the mat. You can spider up on these fingertips and push yourself deeper into the twist. Bring that hand forward or reach around the back, grabbing onto the thigh for a bind. We're just warming up the muscles right now. With the next inhale, place that right hand down, inhale that left arm up. Open the chest and place it back down. So we're going to warm up our wrists and our hip points. So we're just going to circle around. We're in that tabletop position. We're engaging that core. Draw the navel to the spine, slightly up towards the heart. And reverse, going the opposite way. Just trying to get fluid in all of our joints. As one of my students always used to tell me, motion is lotion. And she was a physical therapist, so she knows what she's talking about. Okay, come back to a regular tabletop. Now we're going to do a balancing posture. So what I want you to do is take your right foot to the back of the mat and then lift it straight up. And I want you to be reaching your heel towards the back wall. Make sure the hips are in line with one another and you're not hiking that hip up. When you have that core engagement, it helps to keep your hips in line with one another. So you can stay right here, or if you want to come with me, we're going to reach that left arm up. Focusing on that core. Don't forget to breathe. One more breath. And release that. And just wag your tail. Break up any tension. Scratch your nose if it itches. Maybe it's just mine. Okay, so come back to neutral. Make sure you're still pushing away from the ground. So feel your back is broadening. We're going to take that left leg to the back of the mat and then lift it straight up. So again, reaching the heel towards the back wall. Our hips are in line with one another. Core is engaged. And if you're coming with me, we're going to reach that right arm up. So the fingertips and the heel are reaching in opposite directions right now, actively reaching. One more breath. And release it. And wag your tail. So we're going to come right into the thick of it, and we're going to step back into plank position. So you want to make sure that the wrists are underneath the shoulders, and we're reaching our heels back. So you really feel the stretch in your calves right now. And we're going to hold this for just a little bit, making sure that core is engaged. And if you want to, you can even, because you're pulling your belly button towards the spine, so your back can be rounded a little bit. I just want that core engagement. I want you to envision that belly button pulling towards the spine and then slightly up towards the heart. Don't forget to breathe. We'll leave you here for a few more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale back into downward dog. So this is the first down dog. We want to make sure that you bicycle the legs out slowly. We're warming up the hamstrings. And so you just want to move slowly. You can move with the breath. But you just want to focus on those hamstrings, waking them up. Feeling the sensations. Now with the arms, your biceps are by the ears, and you still have that core engagement. The arms are long and strong, and now I want you to focus on the tailbone. In down dog, we want the tailbone to be reaching up towards the sky. And so, as I always say, you never ever have to have your heels down, and your legs don't need to be straight either. You can have a good bend in your knees, but what I want is for that spine and arms to be really long and the tailbone to be reaching up. So just hold the legs still for a minute, get a good bend in the knees, and melt your chest towards your thighs. And just breathe here for a couple seconds. Downward dog is a resting posture. I know it's hard for some people to believe it, but it is. So come up on the tippy toes, look towards the hands, and I want you to walk your feet up to meet the hands. Spread your feet so they're as wide as the hip points, which means that you should have 2 fists between the feet, and that's about hip width distance. So get a really good bend in the knees and just fold forward, resting your chest on top of the knees or on top of the thighs. And you can just sway side to side and front to back. If you want, you can grab the elbows. That helps to really elongate the spine. And you'll feel the difference. Just let your head hang loose and just sway side to side and feel that lengthening in the spine. And you'll feel that pulling in the hamstrings as well. Place the fingertips on the mat. Heel-toe the feet together so the big toes are touching and you have a slight separation between the heels. And then exhale and really fold forward, letting it go. Inhale, halfway lift. So we're bringing our fingertips to the shins, or you can bring them just to the ground. What we're wanting to do is pull the heart through. The legs are going to be engaged. We're lifting our knees up and the thigh muscles up off of the kneecaps. Engaging the core. And breathing. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Engage that core again. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands. I want you to step back into plank, and we're going to slowly lower down all the way to our bellies with control. Engage that core. Untuck the toes, and then pull yourself up, or peel, actually, your chest and head up off of the mat. So your back, your lower lumbar is really doing all the work here. Like your hands are not doing any of this work. You're just pulling yourself up, still warming up that back. If you draw the navel towards the spine, that helps to support the back as well. Take a deep inhale. And exhale. Release that. Tuck the toes. Inhale, push up into plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, come up on the tippy toes. Tiptoe to the top of the mat. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Engage that core. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. Sweep the arms out to the side and come all the way up into a standing upward salute. So, I'll turn to the side. So, in up salute, the big toes are touching, heels are slightly apart. If you have balance issues, you can bring your feet hip width distance. That's completely fine. What you want to do, though, is you want to pull those thigh muscles up off of the kneecaps. So your thighs are engaged, your glutes are engaged, tucking that tailbone under, drawing the navel to the spine, slightly up towards the heart. Your fingertips are actively reaching up. So everything is working right now. Everything is engaged and working. So, and we're not forgetting to breathe. And I think I'm going to use both of these so that you can see this at an angle. So take a deep inhale and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, engage that core. Exhale, plant your hands, step back into plank, and again, slowly lower down with control all the way to your belly. Untuck the toes, and we're going to peel ourselves up into cobra. So in cobra, your arms are working on this one. Your navel is still engaged. Draw the ears away, or not the ears, but draw the shoulders away from the ears. Don't know if you have that ability to draw your ears away, but that would be pretty cool. Take another deep inhale. Exhale, release that, tuck your toes, push yourself up into plank, and exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come up on the tippy toes, tiptoe the top of the mat. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, engage that core. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, sweep the arms out to the side, come all the way up into an upward salute. When we get to the top, I want you to bring your palms together and now do a slight back bend. So this isn't going to be super deep because we're still warming our bodies up. You never want to push yourself to pain, but you do want to push yourself to what you can do. Take a deep inhale and exhale, forward fold. You'll notice when I exhale and forward fold, it's a slow motion because you want to remember that your exhales are longer than the inhales and you want it to be slow. So it's slow and with control as you go all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, engage that core. Exhale, plant your hands, step back into plank. Now you can either go to one of the cobras that we just did, or you can come with me and do a chaturanga, which is a half plank. So the the triceps are even with the back. And then we're going to inhale up into up dog. So in up dog, the thighs, I don't know if you can tell from this angle, the thighs are not touching the mat in up dog. Cobra, the thighs are on the mat. Up dog, the thighs are up. The arms are strong. The shoulders are away from the ear. And push yourself back to downward facing dog. So I want you to inhale that right foot up, bend at the knee so that your right heel is reaching towards the left glute. And I want you to just circle that ankle and reverse it. Inhale, three-legged dog. Replace that foot back down and inhale that left leg up, bend at the knee, heel towards glute and circle. And reverse. Inhale up, three-legged dog, and replace that back down. So inhale that right leg up. Exhale, we're going to swing it through between the arms, plant the right foot by the right hand. So right by the thumb. You want to make sure the knee is over the ankle. Your back leg is long and you're reaching the back of the thigh up towards the sky. So we make sure that we have this alignment, and then we're going to inhale up into high lunge. So in high lunge, your feet are on opposite railroad tracks, okay? When we do the warriors, there's a heel to arch alignment, and we'll go over that too. But right now we're just doing the high lunge, so don't worry about it. And exhale, plant your hands, step back into plank, and you can either go to downward dog or go through a flow. So you go to chaturanga, inhale to your heart opener, and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale that left leg up. Exhale, swing it through and plant it. Remembering the feet are on opposite railroad tracks. You've got knee over ankle. We're going to inhale up into high lunge. Shoulders away from the ear. Engage that core. Don't forget to breathe. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back into plank and either go to downward dog or go through a flow. Coming to chaturanga, inhaling to your heart opener, and exhale, downward facing dog. So inhale that right leg up. Exhale, swing it through and plant it again. This time I want you to drop that left knee down. And you can either keep your toes tucked under or lay the foot flat. It really doesn't matter. When you tuck your toes under, it helps to stretch out the bottom of the foot, those muscles. So I like to keep mine always tucked. And we're going to inhale up into a low lunge. So in this position, you can kind of pulse a little bit and just kind of ease yourself into it. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back into plank. And either go to downward dog or go through your flow. Inhaling to your heart opener. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale that left leg up. Exhale, swing it through, plant it. We're going to drop that back knee and inhale up into low lunge. Again, remember we have the knee over the ankle. Toes can be tucked under in the back or flat, whatever you want. But we're not forgetting to engage the core, and we're not forgetting to breathe. And exhale, plant the hands, step back into plank, and go or flow. Inhaling to your heart opener. And exhale, downward facing dog. So I want you to come up on the tippy toes. We're going to tiptoe to the top of the mat again. Big toes are touching, heels are slightly apart. Exhale, forward fold. And this time we're going to come up into chair pose. So I want you to brush the fingertips on the mat and then come up into a chair pose. You want to sit your bottom low. Big toes are touching. Thighs are hugging together. And we're really reaching with our fingertips as we're sitting low. And breathing. And inhale, stand up. Exhale your hands down into heart center. And if you want, you can circle the shoulders a little bit, break up some of that tension if you need to shake the legs. The chair pose is pretty intense for the thighs, so bring the big toes back together. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, engage that core. Exhale, plant your hands, step back into plank, and go to downward dog or go through a flow. Inhaling to your heart opener. And exhale, downward facing dog. So inhale that right leg up. Exhale, swing it through and plant it. Drop that left knee. Inhale up into low lunge. Take a couple breaths here. And now we're going to push into that right foot and lift up into high lunge. Now we're going to do some dips, okay? So we're going to go from low lunge to high lunge. But when we go down, I do not want you to touch your knee, okay? So take a deep inhale. Exhale, drop. Inhale, up. Exhale, drop. Up. And drop. Up. 4. Drop. And I think this is 5. Am I right? Drop. And come up. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back into plank and go or flow. Inhaling to your heart opener. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale that left foot up. Exhale, swing it through, plant it. Dropping that back knee. We're coming up into low lunge. Just for a couple of breaths. Okay, so let's inhale up. High lunge for a few breaths. And then we're going to do our little pulsing. So down, up, down, inhale up, exhale down, and I think one more, exhale down, inhale up, whoa, lost my balance, I may cut that out. Plant your hands, step back into plank, and go or flow. Inhale to your heart opener. And exhale, downward facing dog. So, drop to the knees, and then just sit back on your bottom. So, this is a quick thigh burner. I know you don't have a lot of time, so actually, let's do some barrel rolls. So I want you to imagine that your stomach is like a knife and you're scooping out the sides of a peanut butter jar, okay? So inhale forward and then exhale back. Inhale, exhale. And let's reverse. One more time. So roll the shoulders down on the back. I want you to rest your palms with the palms facing upwards. Close the eyes. Shoulders are down away from the ears. And slow the breathing down. Still taking long, deep breaths. but just slowing that heart rate. Just taking time out for yourself, time to spend in meditation. When the palms up, you're in a receiving posture, so you're allowing the light and knowledge and love that Heavenly Father has to give you. You're welcoming all of that. And you're just taking a few moments just to listen and just to be. Keeping the eyes closed, I want you to slightly tuck your chin towards your chest so that you feel that your spine and neck and the crown of the head are one long line reaching up. Inhale, reaching the arms out to the side, palms touching overhead. You exhale your hands down and pause at the forehead for only kind thoughts. And then come down and pause at the lips for only kind words. And then bring your hands down to heart center, pausing at the heart. That we will always try to have our hearts open and softened to receive all the light and knowledge that our Heavenly Father is wanting to give to us. The light within me honors and respects the light that resides within you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. This is one of many. Love all of you missionaries. Grateful for everything that you guys are doing. God bless.